The epithelial tissue based on the number of layers, they are of two types, the simple epithelium and compound epithelium. So the compound epithelium is composed of multi-layered cells. So what are their role? They have limited role in secretion and absorption. They are majorly involved. Compound epithelium is majorly involved in secretion and absorption. So the compound epithelium, they cover the dry surface of the skin, moist surface of the buccal cavity, the oral cavity we are talking about. So the moist surface of the buccal cavity, pharynx, okay. So moist surface of the buccal cavity, the pharynx, inner lining of the ducts of salivary gland and pancreatic ducts. They are lined by this compound epithelium. Okay, so their major function is protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So they provide a major protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So their major role is also in secretion and absorption. So you have to remember about that. Then there are cell junctions. So the cell junctions are those regions that provide structural and functional links between adjacent cells. So the junctions that provide structural and functional link between adjacent cells. Adjacent cells means neighboring cells, akka cells. Okay, so neighboring cells, adjacent cells means. So the junctions that provide structural and functional links between adjacent cells, we call it as cell junction. They are of three types. Cell junctions are of three types. The tight junction, adhering junctions. So adhering means they help in holding it. So then gap junctions. So here in this particular slide diagram, you have this adhering junction which is holding together. So adhering means attaching or gluing together. So tight junctions, they are held together. So these they are the junctions that provide structural and functional link between adjacent cells, I told you. So the tight junctions, they are tightly held together. And in the gap junctions, you notice there is a gap in between them. Between the adjacent cells, these junctions, which provide structural and functional link between adjacent cells, they have gaps. So we call them as gap junctions. So the cell junctions are of three types: the tight junction, adhering junction, and gap junctions. So tight junctions, what do? They help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. So the tight junctions, they help in stopping substances from leaking. See, you can notice here the tight junctions. They help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. So tight junctions are holding the adjacent. They are the structural and functional links that are holding the adjacent cells. So they are help in preventing, stopping substances from leaking across a tissue. Tight junctions. The adhering junction, they are performing a cementing role to keep neighboring cells together. So the adhering functioning, their junctions, they are going to perform a cementing role to keep the neighboring cells together. So that is what we call it as adhering junction. So you can notice the blue one is the adhering junction. So they are performing the cementing to keep neighboring cells together. Then you have this gap junctions. So gap junctions, they facilitate, see, you can notice the gaps, isn't it? So they facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting cytoplasm of the neighboring cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and big molecules. So this cytoplasmic connections is through the gap junctions. That is the plasmodesmatal connections is through the gap junctions of the adjacent cells. So the gap junctions facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting cytoplasm of the adjoining cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and big molecules. So the cytoplasmic connections are established through the gap junctions of the neighboring cells, so which we also call it as plasmodesmatal connections. So there is a rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and big molecules that are taking place through this gap junction. So you can notice this gap junction. So there is a cytoplasmic connection between the neighboring or adjacent cells, which helps in the connecting the cytoplasm of the adjacent neighboring cells which helps for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and big molecules. Now, the next part that we'll go for today's discussion is connective tissue. So, if you look into the connective tissue here, the first slide it shows the areolar tissue. So, the connective tissue, you have the loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue. So, the loose connective tissue consists of areolar tissue, adipose tissue, where it is a modified areolar tissue with large number of fat cells, fat goblets are found, fat globules are found in this areolar tissue. Then the densely connected, the connective tissue, dense connective tissue, you find the fibrous tissue, so which can be either the uh, collagen tissues or the elastic tissue. So we'll be discussing about that. Then the skeletal tissues, we are going to discuss about cartilage and the bone. So in the skeletal tissue, cartilage, the different types of cartilage are hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrous cartilage. We are going to discuss about that. Then in the bone, we are going to see this slide, what I am pointing. So in the bone, we are going to study about this Haversian system, Haversian canals, how they are held together. We are going to discuss about that in the bone. Then in the below part of it, where the backdrop of this naming of connective tissue, you can see the blood. So this part is having the RBCs and plasma. You can also notice this WBC cells and blood platelets. So we are also going to discuss about the fluid connective tissue. So all this backdrop indicates different types of tissues. Now there are in the connective tissue, the bone to bone tissues, bone to bone are held by ligaments. So I always remember ligaments by LB square. So B square is bone to bone. L is ligament. Bone and bone, they are held together by ligaments. And these ligaments are made up of elastic cartilage because there should be flexibility. So the ligaments are made up of elastic fibers, not cartilage, elastic fibers. Then we have the tendon. Bone and muscles are held together by tendon. So tendon is made up of collagen fibers. So tendon is made up of collagen fibers. So BTM. So sometimes you might have heard about ligament tear. Uh, okay. So tendon issues. So the bone to bone are held together by the ligaments, and ligaments are made up of elastic fibers. The bone and muscle are held together by the tendon. Tendon is made up of collagen fibers. So this different things we are going to study about it. So the tendon, I remember it by BTM. BTM layout, if you can remember BTM. So bone, muscle, they are held together by tendon. So the ligament I remember by LB square. B square is bone to bone. They are held together by ligaments and they are elastic fibers. Okay. So these are things that we'll be discussing in this connective tissue topic of it. The first thing, let us understand connective tissue. So it links and supports other tissues or organs. So the connective tissue links and supports other tissues and organs. So they are the most abundant tissue in case of animals. So the connective tissue, they also form the packaging tissue. So they are most abundant in animals. All the connective tissues except blood have fibroblast cells. Fibroblast cells are present in all the connective tissues except for blood. So you have to remember this point for NEAT or even for your CET. All the connective tissues except blood, they have fibroblast cells. So the fibroblast cells, they secrete fibrous proteins called collagen and elastin. So they might ask you the collagen and elastin, even for 1 mark questions in your PU or CBSE examination, they might ask you the uh, fibroblast cells. What do the fibroblast cells secrete? So they are going to secrete fibrous proteins called collagen and elastin. So the fibroblasts are going to secrete the fibrous proteins called as collagen and elastin. They give strength, elasticity, and flexibility to tissue. So the connective tissue provides strength, elasticity, and flexibility to tissue. So the cells in this connective tissue also secrete modified polysaccharide matrix. So the cells in the uh, connective tissue, they also secrete modified polysaccharides or matrix, which accumulate between the cells and fibers. So you find the matrix between the cells and fibers, which are secreted by the uh, connective tissue cells, which secrete, what do they secrete? Modified polysaccharides, that is matrix, which accumulate between the cells and the fibers. So these are some of the attributes of connective tissue. See, connective tissue is mesodermal in origin. So connective tissue, it is going to link and support other tissues or organs. See, link and support, you have this ligament, the tendon, they are linking and supporting other tissues, isn't it? And organs also, they are linking and supporting. So the connective tissue is most abundant in animals, in complex animals in the sense, higher level of animals, that is mammals and others. You find this most abundant, connective tissue is most abundant in the complex animals. They are all connective tissues except blood. They have fibroblasts. So fibroblasts secretes collagen and elastin. So they secrete fibrous proteins called collagen and elastin. So the collagen and elastin, they are going to give strength, elasticity, and flexibility to tissues. So the collagen and elastin secreted by the uh, fibroblast cells, they provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to tissues. Okay. The cells also are going to secrete modified polysaccharide, that is matrix, which accumulate between the cells and the fibers. So now this is the classification of connective tissue. So the connective tissue is classified into three major types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, specialized connective tissue. So the connective tissues are classified into three major types: the loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. See, the loose connective tissue, they are again divided into two major types: the areolar tissue. So you can see the slide here, areolar tissue and the adipose tissue. So adipose tissue is a modified areolar tissue with large number of fat globules secreted by the fat cells. Okay, so the loose connective tissue is of two major type: areolar tissue and adipose tissue. The dense connective tissue is of two types: dense regular and dense irregular. So dense connective tissue is of two types: dense regular and dense uh, irregular. So the specialized connective tissue is of three types: cartilage, bone, and blood. So the specialized connective tissue is of three types. You can see the cartilage slide, bone, and blood. So they are the dense, the specialized connective tissue. So connective tissue is of three types: the loose connective tissue, which is made up of adipose tissue and areolar tissue. You can see the slides of areolar tissue and adipose tissue. The dense connective tissue is of two types: dense regular and dense irregular. Then the specialized connective tissue is classified into the cartilage, bone, and blood. So this is the classification of the connective tissue. So the first that we are going to study about is the loose connective tissue. So the loose connective tissue, as the name indicates, they are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid matrix. So the cells like fibroblasts, macrophages, mast cells, and the fibers, they are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid matrix. So the loose connective tissue is of two types: the areolar connective tissue and adipose connective tissue. So the loose connective tissue, they are loosely arranged because the cells and fibers are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid matrix. So we call them as loose connective tissue. So in the areolar tissue, Uh, so they are of loose connective tissue in the cells like fibroblasts, macrophages, mast cells. They are all and fibers. They are loosely arranged in a semi-fluid matrix. So they are of two types. Loose connective tissue is of two types: areolar and adipose connective tissue. So the loose connective tissue first that we are going to study is areolar tissue. Before we go into the content, so let us understand the diagram. See here you can find the amoeboid shaped macrophages. Okay, and you can also see the mast cells. The blue colored one is the mast cell with which is nucleated, and you can see them here. The macrophages, they are amoeboid in shape, and mast cells you can notice. Then you can also notice the important one, the fibroblast. This cell is the fibroblast, which secrete the uh, elastin and collagen. So you should remember that this fibroblast secrete fibers uh, which are made up of elastin or collagen. See, the collagen fibers are in a bundle. See, the collagen fibers, the blue one, they are in a bundle and they are wavy in nature. So the collagen fibers are unbranched, they are in a bundle and wavy in nature. Whereas the yellow fibers, so you can notice this elastic fibers. See, collagen fibers are also called as white fibers. The elastic fibers are called as yellow fibers. So you can notice the yellow fibers are single and they are branched. You know, whereas the collagen fibers, they are found in a bundle, they are wavy in nature, they are unbranched. Okay, so collagen fibers are also called as white fibers, whereas the elastic fibers, they are single and branched. Okay, so elastic fibers are also called as the uh, yellow fiber. So you should remember about that. So this slide, you will be noticing it in your lab also. A permanent slide would be focused. So you can notice this wavy nature of this collagen fibers in the slide. You can notice the fibroblast cells, the macrophages, and mast cells you can notice within them. Okay, so these are all things, and you can also notice this long single branched yellow fibers or elastic fibers, the wavy collagen fibers which are unbranched and they are in a bundle. Okay, so the areolar tissue, where are they located? It is present beneath the skin. So the areolar tissue is present beneath the skin. So below the skin you find the areolar tissue. It serves as a supporting framework for epithelium. See, the areolar tissue is present beneath the skin and they are going to work as a supporting framework for epithelium. It serves as a supporting framework for epithelium. Now, the adipose tissue, if you look into, they are also seen mainly beneath skin. Its cells, that is, the adipose tissue has this fat cells. We call it as adipocytes. They store fats. Excess nutrients are converted into fats and stored in this tissue. So the excess nutrients are converted into fats and they are stored in this adipose tissue. So you notice the adipocytes which stores fats. So the here you have this fat cells. So the fat storage area, you can see that nucleus and cytoplasm is pushed towards the periphery. The adipocytes is a fat storing. It stores fats. A large part of this adipocyte is occupied by this fat. So you have the nucleus and cytoplasm towards the periphery. So these uh, adipose tissue, they have cells, adipocytes, which stores fats within them, and the cytoplasm and nucleus is pushed towards the periphery. So these are the adipocytes with, that is the cellular part of this adipose tissue. Okay, so they are seen mainly beneath the skin. The adipose tissue, which is also loose connective tissue, it is seen beneath the skin, that is below the skin. It consists of adipocytes which store fats. So the excess nutrients that if we consume more than what is required, the excess nutrients are converted into fats and they are stored in this adipose tissue. Okay, so which is beneath the skin. So remember about this adipose tissue, which is also loose connective tissue. It's a modified areolar tissue also. Now we'll go for the next part, that is the dense connective tissue. So the dense connective tissue, as the name indicates, they are of two types: dense regular and dense irregular connective tissues. So the fibers and fibroblasts are compactly packed. They are densely packed. They are not loosely packed in the modified polysaccharide, that is the matrix. Here, the dense connective tissue, the fibers and fibroblasts or fibroblasts, they are compactly packed. So there is no space in between them. It is not loosely arranged. They are compactly packed. So the dense connective tissue is of two types: dense regular connective tissue, dense irregular connective tissue. So you can see the first slide is dense regular connective tissue. The second slide is dense irregular connective tissue. See, the dense connective tissue, they are uh, dense regular. The first type we'll study about. So this is the diagram that they have given for you. You can notice the fibroblasts and collagen fibers are noticed, which are densely arranged. So they show regular pattern of fibers. So the dense regular, they show regular pattern of fibers. It is a regular arrangement that you can see with fibroblasts and fibers. Okay, the collagen fibers are present in rows between many parallel bundle of fibers. So the collagen fibers are present in rows. You can see them; they are all present in rows between many parallel bundle of fibers. You can notice that there are many parallel bundle of fibers. See, this is the dense connective tissue where the collagen fibers are found present in rows between many parallel bundles of fibers. Example of dense regular tissue is tendons and ligaments. I told you the tendons are BTM, you should remember. The bone and muscles are held together by tendons. What is this tendon made up of? They are made up of collagen fibers. See, the bone, the muscles is nothing but flesh here. So it is attached to the bones. So the bone and the muscles are held together by this tendon, BTM. You remember it as. So bones and muscles are held together by the tendon. And what is this tendon made up of? They are made up of this collagen fibers. And ligaments, see here you have the tendons. They are going to attach skeletal muscles to the bones. And what type of fibers they have? They are going to have the collagen fibers. Ligaments attach one bone to, see, this is the tendon. So the muscles are attached to the skeletal muscles are attached to the bones, okay, by the collagen fibers. So ligaments are, see in this region you can notice the ligaments are attached one bone to another bone. So the elastic fibers are attaching the one bone to another bone. So this type of dense regular, we call it as ligaments, where bone to bone attachment is done by this ligaments. Ligaments are consisting of elastic fibers. Why they should have elastic fibers? So there is elasticity between bones. If there are no elastic fibers, you cannot fold your hands, you cannot fold your fingers. Okay, so it would be, if they were made up of collagen fibers, we couldn't fold because there is a bone to bone articulation which are held by these ligaments. Ligaments are made up of the elastic fibers, because of which there is flexibility in the movement of bones also. You should remember about that. LB square, you remember whenever you have to remember about ligaments. LB square, B square represents bone to bone attachment is by ligaments. Ligaments are made up of elastic fibers. Okay. The dense connective tissue, we have the next one, dense irregular. See, in dense irregular, there is irregular pattern of, as the name indicates, fibroblasts and fibers, mostly collagen, they are irregularly arranged. So there is an irregular pattern of fibroblasts and fibers, mostly collagen fibers. So they are present in skin. So the dense irregular connective tissue is present in the skin. So they are fibroblasts, fibroblasts, and collagen fibers are irregularly arranged. And the fibers that are present majorly it is collagen fibers. Then the next that we are going to discuss, see, we have completed now the dense, the connective tissue was divided into uh, three major types. So we had this, then the connective tissue, the So we had under this connective tissue three major headings, isn't it? So the areolar tissue, loose connective tissue, we have already discussed areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Then we discussed about the dense connective tissue, dense regular, where we discussed about the ligaments and tendons. Dense irregular, we discussed about the connective tissue present in the skin. So where they are irregular, fibroblasts and the collagen fibers are irregularly arranged. Then the specialized connective tissue, we have three to study. The first part that we are going to study is the cartilage. So for today's class, we'll be studying cartilage. In the next class, we'll be studying about the bone and blood. So cartilage you might find at certain regions. We find the cartilage. See the bones, the are covered by this cap-like structure called as cartilage. The nasal part of it, they are made up of cartilage. They are flexible, isn't it? The pinna of our ears, they are made up of cartilage. Okay. So here in the trachea, they have C-shaped uh, cartilaginous rings, so they are collapsible. They prevent from collapsing. The C-shaped cartilaginous trachea you find. So the trachea is made up of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Okay. So cartilage, what do you notice? Uh, Chondrin would be there in cartilage. In case of bones, they'll be having ossin. So here you have to remember about certain names like chondrocytes, chondroblasts. So these are all terms that you should remember. Chondrin. Okay, first of all, understand where they are located, this cartilage part of it. See, these are cartilage is an intercellular material, that is matrix, is solid and pliable due to chondroitin salts. So they are solid and pliable. They are solid and pliable means flexible due to chondroitin salts, and they resist compression. So they resist compression. You can't compress them, they again bounce back. So this elasticity is noticed in this cartilage cells. So and they resist compression. Why are they solid and pliable? Pliable means flexible, foldable. Why are they solid and pliable? Because of the deposition of chondroitin salts. Okay, the intercellular matrix is having this chondroitin salts, is solid and pliable due to chondroitin salts, and they resist compression. Okay, cartilage cells, you can notice here the cartilage cells, chondrocytes, are enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. So we call them as lacunae. The lacunae will be having this the chondrocytes. Some of them will have single chondrocytes, some of them are having two, some might have four per lacunae. So the cartilage cells or chondrocytes are present in enclosed in small cavities within the matrix secreted by them. So most of the cartilage in vertebrate embryos are replaced by bones in adults. So the most of the cartilages in the embryo stages, they are cartilages which are replaced by bones in the adult stage. So a very young infant, if once it has been given birth to, if you find at the top of the head, it would be almost semi-solid. The skull would not have been yet formed. Okay, within the mother's womb, the fetus would be having this hyaline cartilage. They don't have this skeletal system developed. So after they are given birth to, the uh, bone formation would be seen up to the growth of adults. So the bone formations are involved. So in the as a fetus, they are made up of hyaline cartilage. Okay, so the most of the cartilages in vertebrate embryos, they are replaced by bones in the adults. Cartilage, they are found in special regions, localized regions like the tip of the nose. You have the cartilage. The pinna of the ear, you find the cartilage. Joints in the vertebral column. So the joints in the vertebral column, you can notice the cartilage. Then limbs and hands in adults, so they are having this cartilage. So cartilage also forms a cap-like structure on the bones. So you should also remember about that, cartilage forming a cap-like structure on the bones. So the this is what you have to remember regarding the cartilage. So there are different types of cartilage that they have not discussed much in your present syllabus. There are the hyaline cartilage. So elastic cartilage, the fibrous cartilage is there. Fibrous cartilage will be densely made up of collagen fibers in the matrix. So hyaline cartilage is there. Then elastic cartilage. So the cartilages, where are they located? They are present in the tip of the nose, pinna of the ears, joints in the vertebral column. So vertebral column, you know about it, the joints of the vertebral column, limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs, the bones, the tip of the bones are having this cap-like structure. You find the joints in the uh, limbs and hands. When in the fingers, bone-to-bone connection, you find this cartilages. Okay, so remember about this cartilage. Even the uh, flap is which covers whenever we swallow, the flap which prevents the food from entering the uh, windpipe. So that flap is also cartilaginous in nature. Okay. Then I spoken about the windpipe being made up of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Okay, which prevents the trachea from collapsing. The C-shaped cartilaginous rings prevents the trachea from collapsing. So these are all things that you have to remember regarding the cartilage. So the intercellular material or matrix of the cartilage, it is solid and pliable because of the chondroitin salts present in them, and they also resist compression. So the cartilage cells or chondrocytes are found in within cavities in the matrix of the so they are enclosed in small cavities secreted within the matrix secreted by them. So most of the cartilages in vertebrate embryos, so they are replaced by bones in the adults. So cartilage in the adults is present at the tip of the nose, pinna of the ear, joints in the vertebral column, limbs and hands in the adults. So this is what you have to remember. So in the next class, we'll be discussing about the bone and blood, the other two specialized connective tissue, that is the bone and blood, we'll be discussing in the next class. So if you have any doubts or clarifications of whatever we have discussed for today, you can just inquire from me.